What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be having a look at my Game Week 4 wildcard draft. I'm going to be discussing some crucial player picks and getting you ready for the upcoming game week. If you're planning to wildcard or just looking for some fresh FPL insights, you're in the right place. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. Let's jump straight into it. So for game week 4, I've decided to play my wildcard, opting for a 3-4-3 formation. Playing a wildcard allows you to rethink your squad entirely, projecting what will happen over the next 5 to 6 game weeks, which requires a lot of thought compared to a free hit, which is just 1 week. So here's my breakdown of my team. In goal, I have gone for Vicario, defense, Troffer, Spence, and Richards. Now, I'll be honest, I would ideally prefer Munoz over Richards, but to fit in the other players I really wanted, I'd have to make a sacrifice somewhere. Richards, however, did show in Game Week 3 that he can pick up defensive contributions. Palace have a decent defense, and Munoz carries attacking threat and is great for DEFCON, with good fixtures coming up as well. So if I want to make a change and bring in Munoz, I could downgrade Evan Nielsen to Thiago from Brentford. This just shows the kind of difficult decisions you have to make when you're on a wildcard. In my midfield, I'm featuring players like Semenyo, Salah, Drewsbury Hall, Gakpo. So with Semenyo, he's been really good this season. He's lacking a certain finesse in front of goal, but I think he's a big player to have this week. He's also seen a significant price rise up to 7.4 million. And has a great run of fixtures, including Brighton and Newcastle, Leeds, Fulham, and Palace. He feels like a very secure pick. With Salah, he is my captain. Salah against Burnley, while he hasn't been in inspiring form over the first 3 game weeks, you could argue his initial fixtures were tough, Arsenal being one of them. Burnley are newly promoted, and Salah could absolutely feast in this fixture. Liverpool also have the highest projected goals this week with 2.5. Drewsbury Hall is a much cheaper option. I'm going with him. He's looked good and recently bagged the Hall with a goal and an assist last match, playing at home. I'll be rotating him with Anderson from Forest. I know with Isak joining Liverpool, there are concerns about Gakpo and his Ekitike's minutes. However, at the very least, Isak is likely to play small bits at the end of games. Gakpo's minutes have been extremely secure so far, and his performances have been very, very good. Isak hasn't had a pre-season, and his match fitness will be relatively low. He didn't even play for Sweden, so it's unlikely he'll start in Game Week 4, and even Game Week 5 is a doubt. I like Gakpo to continue starting the next 2 games, especially against Burnley and Everton. Up top, I'm running with Evan Nielsen, João Pedro, and Haaland. As I mentioned, Evan Nielsen is a potential downgrade option if I decide to free up funds for defense. As far as João Pedro, he's been outstanding this season, and with some decent fixtures coming up, I'm happy to bring him in. He also looks like the main man for Chelsea right now and is a very, very popular pick. Haaland's been in decent form. Some might say a bit unlucky, but he is getting the ball in dangerous places and has built up a very good XG over the first 3 games. He's accumulated almost 4 XG, which is significantly higher than any other player. Only Salah even comes close, and he has a 2 XG. While I've gone with Salah for captaincy this week, Haaland is still a perfectly viable captain against Manchester United at home. He has an unbelievable record against Manchester United. On the bench, I have Dubravka, Anderson, Vanderberg, and Reinildo. I won't be relying on Ronaldo much, if at all. Anderson from Forest has been impressively unlucky not to have more returns based on the eye test. There are some alternative considerations with my draft. I've considered other ways to structure this team. For example, if I were to downgrade Salah, I could upgrade Evan Nielsen to Ekitike, Richards to Munoz, Troffer to Gabriel, and Drewsbury Hall could also get a nice upgrade. However, there are risks, especially with Ekitike potentially having his minutes managed with Isak coming in. Plus, not having Salah against Burnley might be too much for me to stomach, given how good that fixture is. As far as Ekitike is concerned, though, you would have enough money to go up to Isak when Isak is fit. Save enough money to upgrade Ekitike. For now, I like Salah. Now, there are some key players to consider for your wildcard or just transfers in general. So beyond my own draft, here are some other players that you should definitely be thinking about. As far as the defense, in goal, Ryer is an unbelievable option, especially as we get to say game week 7 onwards. he is a great pick. So future-proofing your team with Arsenal's defense is probably a good idea. They've not been the best up top, but defensively they are still one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. They do host a very, very good Gameweek 4 clean sheet odd of 64%. So yeah, David Ryer is definitely one to look at. With Palace managing to keep Mark Gahey, it's a massive boost for their defense, so he's definitely one that you can look into. There is also Anderson from Fulham. If you're looking at a 4.5 million defender, he's a very strong option and is offering very good value and obviously rotation potential. These cheap players that we can rotate. Up to the midfield, Gakpo is a massive one to think about if you're not doing a wild card. Someone you could potentially transfer, even with Isak joining. Gakpo's minutes are expected to be secure for at least Game Week 4 and Game Week 5. So given his strong performances and Isak's lack of preseason, he feels like a solid pick, especially with Liverpool's easy fixtures. Another one. So this is more of a knee-jerky pick, but Grealish is currently showing great form and creative spark, especially with reasons to perform well in the next 2 games against his old team Villa and the Merseyside derby. Next up, there is Iliman Ndiaye. So he is on penalties and has more goal threat than Grealish, making him more of a sensible FPL pick, but that's where it's going to come down to how you feel. Now, onto a newer player that's just joined, Xavi Simons. Just joined for Spurs, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him. He has very high hopes, and his set-piece delivery is absolutely sensational. He operates centrally and could be an excellent option once he's settled. Up top, Yokarez. He's the penalty taker and number 9 for Arsenal, a top team. His fixtures turn very favourable from Game Week 7 onwards, making him a good long-term hold or a target for transfers. Then onto Jean Phippe Mateta. Now, I've had him in my team a couple times. I'm still undecided. He's on penalties and he is the number 9 for Palace. Despite some injuries to their wingers, Palace can still score goals and Mateta is likely to be involved, especially with good fixtures against Sunderland and West Ham. Then Ollie Watkins, Morgan Rogers, so just Villa in general. So I think this is very interesting. While Villa's form has been very poor, their upcoming fixtures are incredibly good. Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. You could consider going, as I say, against the curve here, as fixtures can create form, but their form has been nowhere to be seen. They haven't scored a single goal so far. And Alexander Isak. So a lot of managers have bought him in. I think over 500,000 managers have brought him in. However, he is incredibly expensive, 10.4 million, and has had absolutely no preseason and is extremely unlikely to start in Game Week 4 or Game Week 5. So my advice, just wait. If you want to go Ekitike or hold Ekitike, try and have a little bit of money saved up so that you can go up into Isak once he becomes fit, as I think as soon as he's fit, he's going to be very, very dangerous, and they've paid a lot of money for him, so they're going to want to start him. So let's talk about the broader picture for Game Week 4 and beyond. There's the question of free hit versus wildcard. I mean, it is a popular debate, and it is whether to use a free hit in Game Week 4 or save it for Game Week 6. So many managers are eyeing Game Week 6 for free hit because of tempting fixtures like City at home to Burnley, Bournemouth against Leeds, and Forest against Sunderland. While a Game Week 4 free hit team could be strong, a well-planned wildcard might allow you to have a strong team for Game Week 4 and save your free hit for later game weeks. Possibly a random blank or double game week, which could be more impactful, but this would be closer to Game Week 17, Game Week 18. So just be aware that that is always a possibility. FPL is never that straightforward. On to my captaincy choices. So my pick personally is Salah against Burnley. Then obviously Haaland against Manchester United. It's a very, very strong option. Next, you could go with Yokarez or Mateta. They're very, very decent and they're differential. So if they pay off, it's a huge boost in rank. Liverpool do have the highest projected goals for game week 4 at 2.5, followed by Arsenal at 2.2, and then Manchester City at 2. So take that into consideration when moving forward. There are a couple differential captains. I mean, absolutely differential captains. I think if I have to pick one, I'd say probably Richarlison is just someone that's way out there, but I think he could do well this week. Let's talk about Nuno's departure at Forest. So Nuno has surprisingly left Nottingham Forest after just 3 game weeks. However, this isn't expected to significantly impact Forest's assets for game week 4 and game week 5, but, and this is a big but, the replacement is Ange Postecoglou. And we all know from his Spurs days, he loves the high line. So, if anything, their attackers become more interesting to look at, but their defenders become ones to just get rid of. So just take that into consideration. Ange's high line is, it's not great for keeping clean sheets. Interestingly enough, Arsenal's clean sheet odds improved slightly after hearing this news. So it's interesting to see how they think about how goals are scored and how it impacts other teams. And now we look at a little bit of fixture difficulty. Looking at the upcoming run, Spurs are comfortably at the top for easiest fixtures, followed by Wolves, then Leeds, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle. So this certainly supports picks like Cudas and Semenyo, if you are going that way. But for me, I like Semenyo. He's the one that's going to be stuck in my team. So guys, thank you for getting to the end of this video. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments. If you've not subscribed already, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know what you guys are planning on doing this week. Are you free hitting? Are you wildcarding? Are you just letting it run? How has the international break affected your teams? Let me know. I'm very, very curious to see how you guys are doing. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.